Happy Monday, folks. Welcome back in. Hope you had a good weekend. Did something fun, or maybe something relaxing. Maybe a little bit of both. Either way, and whatever it was, welcome back. Happy Monday. Oh boy, another week rolling out. Melissa Lee, good to see you. Welcome in. Y'all, the coffee is hot. Hopefully we got a lot of good questions. And, hey, let's get to it. I'll have a little bit of fun today. What plush are you talking about? Say that again on YouTube. Did I have one in my stream start image? I guess I have something in there. Melissa, thank you for the heart me and for the go popular. Oh, okay. It's called popular vote. That's what I know it as, but it says go popular in the message to me. Strange. Either way, thank you very much. Very kind of you. Hope you had a good weekend, Melissa. Do something fun. But mine was actually a lot of work. Did a lot of work this weekend. I'm kicking off what I am proverbially calling the week of words this week. It's really 12 days, but week of words sounded better. So I'm doing a bit of a writing sprint this week, over the weekend, and next week. And it should be fun. Be a lot of work, but it should be fun. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be working hard, but it should be fun. And we'll have a lot of work done at the end of it. And then I get to take a few days off for the first time this year. So that'll be nice. Melissa, you rearranged your living and dining rooms. Oh, buddy, that's a fair bit of work. Hope you like the outcome, though. I can totally understand that, man. I definitely move the furniture around once every quarter in different rooms. It just makes it feel fresh. You got to refresh things. Say that again. You said it was in my stream start image. Okay, gotcha. It was probably it was Little Kraken. I know what you're talking about now. I would have him on me, but my wife took him with her for her ocean expedition. So Little Kraken, who normally sits on my keyboard, is currently sailing across the Central Pacific Ocean. Jake Hartman, you're spot on. While the wife's away, the husband will work a whole lot. Yeah, man. No, that's exactly it. She comes back in 3 weeks. So I'm basically just gonna grind really hard this weekend next. And I should be finished 7 days before she gets back and actually have some time to take time off and clean the house, get things ready, get her a nice gift, all that nice stuff. And then I'll be nice and refreshed when she gets back instead of stressed out and hitting deadlines. Melissa, you see, can we talk about how cool that is? It is pretty cool. She does a lot of cool stuff for her job. I'm really jealous of all the awesome travel and adventures she has. But I'm glad for her. It was a big leap leaving NASA and starting her own company, and she's rocking it, man. I'm proud of her. Michael, what's up, buddy? So the Paragon series is getting even better. You're about to finish book 2. Oh, dude, you're moving now. Thank you for reading that. I'm glad you're enjoying it, but you're tearing through them. I better go ahead and finish up my part on Paragon 5 here so we can have a finished series ready for you. I'm glad you're enjoying it, though, dude. Rock on. Oh, thank you for the question. Say that again on YouTube. You said, what is my favorite genre to read and write? Does it depend on if you're reading it or writing it? Favorite genre to read? It's probably fantasy. Favorite genre to write? Also fantasy. I like a little bit of sci-fi for reading. I don't love writing sci-fi because I don't think I'm a very forward-thinking person when it comes to technology, just in terms of creativity. I much more enjoy history than I enjoy futurism, though both are cool. So, fantasy and fantasy, for sure. What about you? Say that again. What's your favorite genre to read? Slendy, thank you for the heart me, my friend. I appreciate you. Let's see. Slindy said, you need to move all the furniture and clean, then paint the wall. Oh, buddy. Man, y'all into all the house renovation stuff this last weekend or coming up. Making me tired just thinking about it. Could have some beautiful houses on the other side, though, huh? Rock on, man. Melissa Lee said, would a time turner of sorts swing more towards fantasy or sci-fi? I think that trope could work in either or. It feels more naturally fantasy. But it's really the trappings around it in the story. That's just more of a plot MacGuffin. It's the other elements of the story beyond that I think would determine what the genre is specifically. Jake Hartman, you said, hope no one has a case of the Mondays. I had it really bad one time and metastasized and turned into a case of the Tuesdays. Oh, Jake, that's brutal, man. Carrying the Monday dread into Tuesday. That's no fun. Hey, look, when the coffee's hot, the sun's shining, could be a lot worse, huh? Say that again, you're flattering me on YouTube, my friend. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Let's see, we got some questions here. Monday Beardman. Dig the name. You said, how did you find someone for publishing your first book? Let's see. First book, my first book, I went traditional publishing with it, so I queried literary agents and whatnot. Got pretty far into that process, and it kind of fell through with this whole scandal thing with my agent. Very annoying. I've told the story many a time. From there, I got approached by a publisher to publish Warden with them, my other first book. So this one right here. And they just, wanted me to... Basically, they wanted a ghostwriter, and they pitched me the book, and they wanted me to write it, and I did. And then they were like, actually, we want to pivot. We want a real author on this. So they asked if I was okay putting my name on it and, making it my book more than just a ghostwritten book. And we kind of went from there. I was a ghostwriter at the time, too, so that was totally normal for me. At least the ghostwriting aspect, not the actually having my real name on a book. Local pansexual, hello, hello. Good to see you. Welcome back. Hope you've been doing good. Dubs on Smash, you as well, my friend. Good to see you. Pleasure to have you here. Happy Monday, guys. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Phoenix, she said, so how is working with another author? Phoenix, you mentioned you were going to ask this question next Monday. Good memory, dude. You were spot on it. You said, so how is working with another author? Did you do all the work, or were you the lazy one? We split it. We work hand in hand with planning the story, plotting it all out, kind of go back and forth on plot elements, ideas, abilities, and then we just kind of write the sections that inspire us the most, that feel most correct with us. And basically the book's done. It's just waiting on me to do a little more of my side of things. So I'll have it done this weekend, I think, seems likely. Good 8 days or so of writing. We should be there. So we'll see. Say that again on YouTube. You said, most frustrating thing about working in the writing industry. Unpredictability. You never know how much money you're going to make from launches, from royalties. Are books just going to flop? Regrettably, I'm a huge fan of this book right here. Put a lot of work into it. My publisher put a lot of weight behind it, and it came out and just straight flopped. I think it's a great book, but sometimes that's just how it goes, You can't predict what's going to happen with each launch. So I think that's the most annoying thing. There's very little predictability in the industry. All right, so there's a lot of questions coming here. Ian, the wizard, my friend. Good to see you. How you been? You've been busy lately, right? Glad to have you back, my man. Lunar Megami, you said, I'm an aspiring author. What advice would you have to give someone who has a story to tell? My advice to aspiring authors is always to start with short stories. Novels are like going from not running ever to running a marathon. Short stories are much better in terms of being a midpoint, a training program, and they teach you everything you need to know to write a novel, just in a shorter format. So start with short stories, and submit them to short story contests. There's a lot of them out there you can submit to that are all reputable ones are free. So that's always my advice there. And write for yourself first. Have fun, enjoy it. Don't doubt yourself. Don't be creatively afraid to do things that you want to do. Just go for it. Those two pieces of advice are always my go-to. Noah R.J. Tarl said, I'm writing a a book, 70,000 words right now. Rock on, man. Good job with that. 70,000 is nothing to scoff at. Well done. What's it about? Tell us. Say it again. I say that again. I appreciate it, man. Sometimes flops happen. Just part of the industry. Just wish I hadn't spent so long writing it, editing it, and promoting it, only for it to flop. But that's how it goes. Bo, good to see you. Good morning, my friend. Hope you had a good weekend. Dextroyer, is that the Half-Life 2 Citadel? People ask that a lot. No, it's actually it's the back cover of this book right here, Wriggly Little Hands. It's my most recent book. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord, but they're goblins, so they mess it up. Get distracted, go on side quests, maybe ruin everything. You'll have to read it to find out. But it's on Amazon. Links are in my bio if you want to get it through audiobook, ebook, Kindle Unlimited, all those wonderful formats. It's there and available. And the art behind me is the back cover of the book. Shout out to Ivan Shavrin, my cover artist, who did that. All right. Sorry, guys. Questions coming fast now. AMW Arts, what's your magnum opus dream book? For a long time, it was... Wrigley right here. This one was a big one for me. I really took creative leaps with it. It was different and exciting and interesting. It remains that way. I still love it. It's a great book. Probably my favorite book that I've written. Beyond that, I'm not sure, but I really like that one, and we'll see what the next ones are, huh? All right. Oh, boy, so many questions. I appreciate it, y'all. Let's get through these. AC Emil says, hello. I want to write a book. What's your most important advice? Most important advice is to start with short stories. They're much shorter. They're much more approachable, but they'll teach you everything you need to know to write novels. Definitely start with those. Second most important advice is tune out the doubt. Write for yourself. Have fun with it. Just rock and roll, man. You're the first person that's got to enjoy the story. Jack Ann, good to see you, and thank you for the heart me and the gifts. You're too kind. I appreciate you. Hope you had a good weekend, Jack Ann. Barry McCulkner said, I got my short story put in a book of school when I was 11. Would I technically be an author? My man, if you are a writer that writes finished pieces, in my opinion, you are an author. Considering your story was put in a book, you're definitely an author, but I don't think there's much value in gatekeeping the term. If you've written a completed story, I think you're an author. And congratulations, by the way, dude. Local Pan said, I just got back from vacation and went to Salem. Now I want to write a fantasy based on the Salem witch trials with some inspiration from Hocus Pocus. Hey, that sounds fun. I dig it. That's a cool concept. Love the vibes around there. Salem, Massachusetts. It's awesome. Oh, I used to live in Boston, so we'd go up there once in a while. Great place. Very fun. Hope you had a good time there. Did you go to the House of Seven Gables? Very cool tour there. Noah, in answer to my question, you said the book you're working on is an epic fantasy. First book's going to be around 120,000 words, and the other 260,000 plus. It's a very ambitious goal, my guy. Don't feel too locked into having to stick to those word counts. Like, tell the story at the length it needs to be. But word count should be secondary to the story being the length it should be. Also, it's pretty hard. If you're going traditional publishing, it's hard to pitch really, really long books as a starting author. If you're established and you got sales and whatnot, then rock on. You can do what you want. And if you're self-publishing, you can also do what you want. But typically, fantasy is 90,000 to 120,000 words. Another piece of advice I frequently give out is don't commit yourself to a series until you know that the book one does really well. Because the worst thing you can do is release book one, have not that many people read it, and then have to write books 2 or 3 or 4, etc. in that series. Because those books are never going to sell more than book one did. Book one will always be the best seller. So you got to make sure that it's going to have the number of sales you need before you move on to committing more time to that. But hey, if you're just writing for yourself and for fun, then throw all that out the window. Do what you want to do. Panda Gamer, are there any fantasy movies you recommend? Fantasy movies are hard. I feel like there's not that many great ones out there. The great fantasy books far outweigh the great fantasy movies, but I mean, obviously you can't go wrong with Lord of the Rings. That whole trilogy is just a masterpiece. Fantasy movies. I don't think it counts as fantasy, and everybody's probably tired of hearing it, but K-pop Demon Hunters is an excellent movie in my opinion, for many reasons. But I'm also looking to get some time because I want to sit down and do a scene-by-scene like breakdown of it, because I think there's a lot to learn about writing in there and how to write snappy, fast-moving plots that just really keep the pace up. So this is a two off the top of my head. Slindy, good to see you, buddy. I don't know if I said hello yet, but welcome in, man. I love the grilled cheese night sticker. Glad you found that. Emil, you said, do you think it's better to write on PC or by hand? The best way to write is however it's most natural for you and the words flow. That being said, PC is far faster than by hand. I enjoy PC by hand, typewriter, etc. from time to time, but when it comes down to getting words on page at an efficient rate, PC is unbeatable. It's too good. Oh, Phoenix, you said you're enjoying Wrigley a lot, but you just started it. Well, thank you for giving it a chance, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really do love that book. Thank you for giving it a read, man. I hope you continue to enjoy it. Chaotic, yes, you mentioned your friend on one of the map making streams. I have their name written down for a potential location in the map. So, sorry to hear that, my guy. That's rough, but I'm glad they read some good fantasy in their time, huh? Say That Again on YouTube said, wanted to thank you for the last stream. You got me back into a writing mood. I have a lot more work than usual thanks to you. Currently writing dialogue for characters. Well, rock on, my guy. Appreciate you. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for getting inspired and taking action on it. Rock on, man. Absolutely glad to have you here. Please ask any questions you got as you move through your writing journey. I'm happy to help you with it. Rock on, man. I'm so happy to hear that. Man of Tomorrow, also on YouTube, said, what do you do to get rid of writer's block? Ooh, I get asked this one a lot. This is a good one. Writer's block is just a menace, right? We all hate it. What I do to get through it, I find that there's two causes for writer's block. There's probably more, but these are the two most common that I run into. One is that you're writing too much and you're overworked. The solution to that one is just calm down for a little bit. Back off from the writing, rest a little bit. Like, your brain gets tired. Writing is a marathon. You will get tired from it. So if that's the cause, relax a little bit. Just kind of step away, take a couple days off. If the cause is not overwriting, if it's literally just like a creative block, what I recommend is to start a timer for 5 or 10 minutes, and then while that timer is going, you got to just be hands-on keyboard writing in the world of your story. Doesn't have to be good writing, don't worry about that, but just getting words on page. You might not even include any of it in your story once you're done, but it's really just a trick to get you typing. Stop worrying about the quality of the words, just get you writing. Get you writing in the world of your story, and I find by the time that timer hits 0, my writer's block is gone. I've kick-started the creative gears turning in my mind. So give that a try, Man of Tomorrow, and let me know how that works for you. Oh, Jack Ann, you said your little guy started grade 2 today. You had a good last weekend before school. How exciting, though. Great. I feel like grade 2 is like, I don't know, a meaningful point. Maybe it was for me, but grade 2 felt like a meaningful pivot. It felt like you were really getting into the meat of school at that point, elementary school at least. But hey, congrats! I'm glad you gave them a good last weekend, and I hope they love school, man. I hope they have a great time. Gasoline says, is beginning and ending with the same sentence as paragraph like The Outsiders any good? I mean, it's cool. A lot of people might not remember what the opening paragraph was by the time they got to the end. So you'd have to make sure it's a very standout, dramatic paragraph. And you also have to be okay with the fact that a lot of people will just miss that. But from a creative level, it's cool. It's satisfying. Nothing wrong with that. Cool idea. I'm always a fan of doing creative leaps like that. Noah, you said, okay, thank you. I'm 13, so when I finish my book, should I push that I'm 13? Will I sell more? I don't think it's going to be too big of a draw for selling more, Noah. Um, I think it's impressive, but because it is impressive, by the way. Congratulations, man. Rock on. I don't think it's that big of a draw, though. I think it's something you could mention, but I don't think it should be a big selling point of the book. The fact what's going to make the book sell is if it's a good book. Mayor Bear, good to see you. Welcome in. I think where was it? There you go. I have to go back to work, and I'm so exhausted from the camping trip. Was it good though? Did you have fun? I know you were excited for it. Tell us about it. Supreme Court Brief says, how do you get ideas for subplots? That's a good one. That's a tough one. So what I do, Supreme, I have a general plot figured out when I start the book. And as the secondary characters move into the story, just random snippets of dialogue that might come about as they interact with the main characters. So secondary plots, subplots start to reveal themselves to me. I rarely plot subplots ahead of time. They kind of come about naturally. That's probably a product of the fact that that's just how I work. I'm better with a thin plot outline. It goes in a direction but is relatively detail-less. And my best ideas come up in the moment. So I like stay alert for potential subplot material as I'm writing, and then I embrace it when they pop up. Great question, though, dude. I've never been asked that one before. That's really fun. Rat Milk. That's another good name. How do you fight that feeling of the more I develop this story, the more I hate it? Dude, good question. Okay. This happens with like everybody I know. I work with a lot of authors. I have like my co-workers that I talk to on a daily basis, other working authors. All of us at some point in our story, at different parts of it, begin to hate it. It always happens. It's just a product of like, it takes a long time to write books. You're spending a lot of time in the world. It's difficult writing. Once you start to feel like you hate your story, two things. Either take a break from it, go work on something else casually. Don't let it don't start a whole new project, but take a little break, do a little side project or something, and then come back to it. That can refresh you. Otherwise, you just got to push through it and turn off those thoughts and just keep writing to the next scene you're excited about. For me, at the 80% mark of every single book I write, I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm so done with this. It's not good. And I've just, 12 books in now, I've learned that just always happens at the 80% mark for me. So it's just done. It's like, it's not true. It's just me getting fed up with it. And once I push through it and get to the end, I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, this story is good. So it's a natural part of the process. Either take a break, step back, do something else for a little bit, or just silence those thoughts as best you can and push on through. Say that again. On YouTube, you said my favorite genre to read is character-focused dramas, like grounded, dark storylines, but not depression porn. Hey, man, you like what you like. There's nothing wrong with that. There's power in knowing what you like, too. What's an example of like a character-focused drama that you would have enjoyed? I can think of a few off my head, but I'm not sure I'm fully, lined up right on target there. What's your favorite one? A lot of questions. Let's see if I can get to these. Burnt Coast. Good to see you, buddy. I love calling back to something earlier in the story at the end. Feels like a nice way to wrap it up. Oh, for sure, for sure. Also the benefit of being at the end of a story, right? You know what's come before it. So you can intentionally call back to things that you like. So that's pretty cool. Leighton Robinson, what do you think of me focusing my fantasy world mostly around muskets and war? Yeah, totally fine, Leighton. You would call that maybe like black powder fantasy. It's just a subgenre of fantasy. Totally a thing. You can totally do that. Rock on, man. If that's where your creative interest is, absolutely do that. Now, you have to consider if you are writing to sell, that subgenre is not as popular in the market today. So it's not going to have the widest readership off the bat. But you can weigh how important that is to you. If you're writing for your own creative interest, rock on. If you're writing to sell, you can still do it. Just know that it's not the most mainstream fantasy. But I always lean more towards write what you want instead of write what the market wants. Mayor Bear, you said, how old was I when I first published my novel? Okay, so there's very different things here. So if we go to my books real quick, technically, these were my first 2 novels. I wrote Servant of Rage first. I wrote Warden right after. But the way things worked out, Servant of Rage was with traditional publishing, and it was a long, slow process, and my agent just massive mess up. Dude totally tanked me and all of his other clients through being a bad agent and was chased out of the industry. So Servant of Rage was finished and sat with an agent, allegedly went to publishers, we're not sure, for a long time. And in that time that it was doing all that, I wrote Warden, and actually Warden ended up getting to print first. So Warden was published in 2018 when I was, I don't know, how was that, 7 years ago? So I was like 25 when Warden came out, and then Servant of Rage came out shortly after that. And then it had a re-release most recently. Good question, though. Local Pan? I like that as your nickname. I think that's fun. Local Pan. Sounds casual and fun. Said, I think I'm going to start publishing some of my poems soon. Rock on. Rock on. It's fun. Encouragement to write more. Meaningful, right? You can really deliver some good emotion through poems. You're very welcome, Rat Milk, for the answer. I hope it helps, my friend. Thank you for asking a good question. I don't know how to read that name. I do not know. It's like runes or something. What do you do to get around writer's block? So what I do is I set like a 5 or 10 minute timer, and I force myself to write during that. Just hands on keyboard, writing in the world of my story. And I don't worry about the quality of words during that timer. I just write until the timer's done. Words in the world of the story, fully acknowledging that I'm probably not going to keep any of them, but what I find is just forcing myself to write and not think about the quality of the words kicks my brain into creative mode. By the end of that timer, I'm typically ready to write again. It's just like jump-starting an engine, really. That's what I would go for it. A lot of YouTube questions today. I appreciate that. Say that again on YouTube. Said, I do... Oh, wait, you had a previous answer? Let's see. You said, I do love reading the superhero genre. I'm currently writing a superhero story, character drama focused first, superpowers second. Okay, I'm not too aware of that genre, but I know that it exists and people write in it. I just don't have a lot of experience with it. But hey, rock on, man. That's what makes the world beautiful, right? All these different interests and approaches and passions. Rock on, dude. Melissa Lee, thank you for the tiny diny float. That was very cute. You're too kind. I appreciate you. Hey, we'll have to bust out the goblins, huh? Thank you very much, Melissa. And congratulations, by the way. What was that? What was that level? 13, did I see? More than that? Rock on, man. Goblins for you. Thank you very much, Melissa. A whole horde of goblins living at your house. Phoenix for the rose. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate y'all. You're really way too kind. Let me try to catch up on these questions here. Leyland on YouTube. Hey, just wanted to know if you've got any tips on making stories less predictable. Yeah, Leyland, what I would do is when you're at like decision points in your story, there's different, ways a story can go. Instead of just picking one and rolling with it, write, 10 minutes down one path, stop, go back to that decision point, write 10 minutes down another path, stop, go back, write 10 minutes down a third path, and then think about the one that you like most and go with that. Alternately, when you're at decision points, ask yourself, what's the thing that's like absolutely just the most crazy thing that can happen right now? Write it into the story, and then see if you can make it work. I think that's a good way to do it. I'm not the best with unpredictability and clever plotting, though. That's not as strong. I wouldn't say I'm bad at it, but I'm certainly not strong at it. I'm very neutral. Level 21, Melissa. Oh my god, I definitely read that wrong. Dude, congrats. That's insane. That's insane. Well done. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I really do. Let's see. Noah, is having too many POV characters bad as in book 1? I have a good few and others. I'll have many more. Yeah, so it can dilute the story. If you have too many point of view characters, make sure that every character in there is important to the story or add something new. You don't want to repeat storylines or repeat tropes, etc. So it's okay to have a lot of POV characters. Just make sure they all have a purpose. That's what I would say. Fat Frog, hello, my friend. Welcome back. Happy Monday to you. I saw something. I was answering a question, but I think I saw an answer about the camping trip. Oh, there it is. Mayor Bear. He said it was so fun, hot, but we just jumped in the river whenever we got too hot. The joys of camping in summer, right? Rock on. That's got to be refreshing. Let's see what else we got. Jacob Heckenberger said, "Do you know Percy Jackson?" Yes, I do. It's a great book series. I read it when I was younger. I due for a reread on it. Honestly, it's good fun. Really love that series. Jack Ann, you said, "I want to tell you your gothic story about the familial-based magic system still on your mind." I'm glad y'all liked that. I don't have time to finish it this year. Maybe next year though. If you guys are really liking it, we'll have to give it a shot, huh? I'm glad you liked it, Jack Ann. Thank you. I was very flattered. Steadfast on YouTube said, "What do you think of Mice and Men?" Or think of Mice and Men. I don't think I've actually read it. A little bit of a embarrassing admittance there, but I don't think I've read it. I read a fair few classics back in the day, but I think I missed that one. Not to mention it's bulky and intimidating. Okay, say that again. I got you. You said you're currently reading Daredevil. It's a comic book, but you love the character interactions, personal struggles, plus the details. It's drama, but not like depressive. Yeah, okay, I understand. I gotcha. Hey man, you know what you like. There's power in that. Leyland, thanks. It's a really good method. I would have never thought about it. Hey, I hope it works, man. I hope it works for you. Steadfast, you said Of Mice and Men is a short book. Is it? I thought it was really long. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is really short. I guess I was confusing it with something else. I'm thinking of some other classic that's like a doorstop. Either way, I have not read it though. I haven't read as many classics as I would like to lately. I read a lot of them back in the day, but y'all, the sad reality of being an author is I don't have a lot of time to read. I spend all day writing and editing and et cetera, et cetera. So I don't get to read as much as I want to. Let's see. Local Pan says the emotions are good, especially since my inspo and Edgar Allan Poe. Oh yeah, rock on. Hey, channel those vibes. Those are fun vibes. That's a good place to start, man. I mean, I'm disproportionately an Edgar Allan Poe fan, so I'm a little bit biased in this way, but rock on. All right. Oh, Bert, you said, "I like how you said to do foreshadowing in the past. I found it helpful." Rock on, man. For those that weren't here, what my advice was about foreshadowing, I do foreshadowing in a 3-step process. Step 1, you mention whatever you're foreshadowing very obviously. You want people to flag it, notice it, and go, "What's that all about?" Step 2, you bring back that mention very subtly. Step 3 is the payoff. That's when it actually delivers in the story. The reason I do it like this is step 1 that makes it very obvious. You want every reader to clue into like something you're foreshadowing. The second time you do it, when it's real subtle, the most attentive readers are going to go, "Oh, okay, he's bringing that back. I'm clued into something here." And then when the payoff comes, they're going to feel like, "Oh yeah, I was expecting that because I picked up that second hint. I'm ready for it." Whereas the people that missed the second hint, they get the payoff. They go, "Oh, what a plot twist that was." Or they think all the way back to the first hint of it, and they're like, "Oh, he told me ahead of time." So it's kind of like a win-win in my opinion. You get to reward the attentive readers and the inattentive readers, or less attentive readers. I'm glad it's working for you though, Bert. Rock on, man. Steadfast, all right. Am I into any video games? Yeah, I play a lot of video games, dude. These books down here are all lit RPG, which take place in video games or have a video game system applied to the world. So that's actually where I started writing. And I'm a big gamer, dude. I played a lot of the Battlefield 6 beta recently. I've got 2,700 hours in Rocket League. Was very good at that at one point in time. Then I got old and slow. I play Puck. It's a physics-based hockey game. It's very fun. I don't know. I play a lot of games. What about you, my friend? I'm always looking for something fun to play. Don't have enough time, but still digging it. Say that again on YouTube. Question, do you know how to write a story with 2 very different protagonists? Yeah, totally. You just got to get in the mind of your protagonist, up to and including even having different music that you might put on when you're writing from the POV of different protagonists. It's all about channeling the vibe and getting into the headspace of like, oh, this character is really serious. I'm going to put on some slow, heavy, dramatic instrumental pieces. Oh, this character is really fun. Oh, okay, I'm going to get like some, karaoke rap beats or like some upbeat, kind of funky stuff. It's just about tricking yourself to feeling like the character while you're writing them. We got another Asmongold reference that I missed. There it is. Deep vein thrombosis. Terrifying name. And thank you for Asmongold counter number 50. We've been sitting on 49 forever, but you just gave us the 50th mention, so thank you, my friend. And welcome in. I'm sad I never got the actual animated counter going on. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. All right. This email never works. Good to see you, my friend. Happy Monday to you. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Slindy, you said, I tried reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea once. It was so boring. Older fiction like that, you got to approach it with a different mindset. It's a very different reading experience, for sure. Noah, you're writing the first battle of the book so far. How long should it be, as it's a very big moment? So an important thing to do with battles and combat and writing is to remember that the story itself is really... the battle isn't that important. It can be important to the story, but it should be important because of how it affects the story. We don't want to see a bunch of pages of just senseless fighting. What we care about are the stakes, and the fighting affects the stakes. So set up ahead of time what will happen in a victory, what will happen in a loss, why we care about that, and then the fighting is really just a way to convey how those stakes are coming about. So keep that in mind when you're writing your fight scenes. As to the length of it, I mean, that really depends on the type of story you're writing. I think it shouldn't go on too long personally, unless you're doing that very intentionally. So I would say, it's hard to know without the specific story, but I would definitely keep it to a chapter, maybe a little bit more if it's a really important fight. Yeah, probably a chapter, maybe 2 if you really need to. Sung Moon, good to see you again. Welcome back. You said, since you're a full-time author, how many hours a day do you write? And is it every day? Yes, I write every weekday because this is my full-time job. I take the weekends off most weekends. I worked last week and I'm working next weekend. I write between 2 and 4 hours a day. I'm doing a bit of I'm attempting to do a lot of words quickly over a 12-day stretch starting today. So I'm going to be writing a lot for these next 12 days. But I go for about 2 to 4 hours a day as my goal in a casual, relaxed pace, which is about 1 to 2 chapters, 2,000 to 4,000 words for me. I'm doing a bit of an experiment these next 12 days. Today's day 1. I'll update you how it goes each day, guys. But I'm doing 4,000 words today. I'm targeting 8,000 tomorrow. And over Labor Day weekend, I'm just going to work all 3 days on a writing sprint. We're gonna see how it goes. So if I've just lost my mind and gone insane, you guys can watch over the next 3 to 4 streams and see how that all goes. Because I'm attempting to write a book faster than I ever have. We're gonna see how it goes. Gotta put a little bit of fun in there, right? Mare Bear, how do I feel about ellipses and M-dashes? I love both of them. I think the more creative ways you can use grammar to tell a story, the better. We have a lot of tools available to us as writers to craft text and emotion and action, and the more of them that you can embrace, the better. I think they're awesome. I love something I've been doing recently with M-dashes. Millie, good to see you. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Something I've been doing a lot with M-dashes is I'll do use them as sentence fragments. So you'll have the sentence, M-dash into an interjected thought, M-dash rest of the sentence, right? So that's how that goes. But a little innovation I've been putting on it is making that interjection a question. So it's got a question mark on the end of it. So it's a little bit kind of out there, but I think it totally works naturally. It's totally normal to have a thought interjected with another question, but I'm physically putting a question mark in there, and all of my word processors hate that. They don't know how to do a smart M-dash after a question mark. But I say the more cool ways you can convey the story, the better. Rock on. Sorry, so many questions, y'all. Let's go. Phoenix, if I ever get a book, I feel bad for any educator? Edutor? I'm not sure what you're trying to say, Phoenix. I think it's probably a typo. If I ever get a book, I feel bad for any... Oh, editor! Editor! Hey, feeling bad for editors is part of the job. They got brutal work, man. What do you mean by schemes, Noah? You said, how do I write schemes? Say that again on YouTube. Says, was there a point in your life where you didn't like or didn't care about reading and writing? I once hated reading and writing. Now I like it. No, I was a reader from a really young age. My mom read to me as like a baby, and I just kind of always read from then on. It wasn't until like middle school that I started actually writing, though. Before that and after that, I just voraciously read all the time. So yeah, I've always loved reading pretty much as long as I can remember. Sorry, there was a point that you hated reading and writing, but I'm glad you like it now, man. Rob says, what do you think of the criticism towards GRRM for still not finishing A Song of Ice and Fire? Oh, man. That's a tough one, right? Like, I fully believe in finishing your books. In fact, hey, look, here's an example, y'all. Servant of Rage right here. I love this book. It's a great book in my opinion. It has done terribly in sales. Full on my worst selling book ever. But I sold the rights to the trilogy for it. So I promised the publisher that I'd be writing book 2 and 3. So I will be writing book 2 in about a month. And I'll be writing book 3 at the end of this, or 2 months. I'll be starting book 2. And then the end of this year and into beginning of next year, I'll be writing book 3. I'm fully aware that that series is dead in the water. It's not going to sell very many copies. It had a bad launch, and it's going to take a miracle to revive it. But I said I was going to do the trilogy, and I'm not going to leave anyone hanging on that. So I'll finish it. So I'm very much of the opinion you should finish what you start, especially for the readers. But I think I get it with George R. R. Martin on some level. Like, he's backed himself into a corner over years and years and years. I can see how that's going to wear on you, and he's just fed up with it. But I would still want to give some ending to all those fans that have read and supported me, essentially, if I were him. But I know he's gone through a lot with it, man, so it's hard to judge unless you're there, I guess. Young author, thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome in. You asked, how can you properly build a community? Because I'm getting like no views. Oh man, I don't know. I'm bad at social media. I can tell you for live streaming, something that I seem to be good at. I don't know. I just enjoy it. It's consistency and just being genuine in what you do. That's all I know, honestly. I don't really know how to do promotion and community building too much. But I guess speaking of community building, here you're reminding me to do that, y'all. I'm dropping our Discord link in YouTube and TikTok chat right now. We got a wonderful community there, 200 people or more. We'd love to have you join us if you want to hang out. We do writing critiques, we got art share, all sorts of fun stuff in there. So by all means, please join. You said, bro, this is my GCSE language revision. I don't know what GCSE is. I don't know what this is. English, so it's something for like learning English, I think. Well, hey, glad to have you. Let me know what that means if you're still here. Who was that? Cassidy, good to see you. Long time no see. How you been? Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a good weekend. And how you been? It's been a hot minute. L, you said, I'm trying to edit my book today, but Sims 4 and TikTok are a lot more interesting. Man, it's the brutal truth. Writing is long, it's difficult, and it can be boring at times. It is an endurance marathon. I find it's easier to set a schedule and stick to it. That always helps me with my consistency. Sorry, a lot on YouTube that I'm missing. Let's see. Steadfast, you love story-based video games. Max Payne, Metal Gear Solid, GTA 4, and I used to enjoy Assassin's Creed. Story-based is fun, right? It's always good to fall into one of those. It's just it's all storytelling, y'all. Story-based video games, movies, books, D&D sessions, it's all storytelling. It's all the oldest human tradition. I think it's beautiful. Say that again. You said question, was there... Oh, I actually answered that already. Say that again. Let's just say I hated reading and writing because both my parents kept me up late nights and early mornings doing both. Oh, okay. Too much, huh? Yeah, that'll get you. That'll get you. And Jake Hartman on YouTube. I can't imagine what it's like to be as famous as George R. R. Martin. I hate mail on RR for short stories. Yeah, it's a different thing, y'all. Fame is weird. Not that I've ever experienced it, but I can imagine. Just having a very small audience here, I can imagine as you get bigger and bigger, it's just a whole experience. Oh, okay. Shy Brisket, you said GCSEs are important exams you have to do at 16 in England. Okay, gotcha. So it was for English revision, I think they said. So interesting. I'll have to learn more about that. I got a lot of friends and work contacts over in the UK, so I feel like I should have known that. Thank you for answering that, though, Shy Brisket, and welcome in. Happy Monday to you. Oh, you get hate mail is what you're saying, Jake Hartman. What do you get hate mail for? Are you talking about publishing on Royal Road, getting hate mail? I know the audience can be critical there. I'm sorry to hear that. But, Jake, have you linked me to your stuff on Royal Road, dude? Drop a link for that if you want. I'd love to go take a peek. Young author, you joined the Discord. Thank you, my friend. Feel free to ask any questions in there or just share writing, share art, whatever it is. We love to have you. Welcome in. Cassidy, you said I had a great weekend. You went to a concert with the girlfriend. What concert? What concert was it? But congratulations to y'all. And you're trying to finish up the last couple sections of your first draft. Very nice, Cassidy. Rock on, man. Hey, you're good. You're good. Look, y'all. There's never an obligation to join the stream, but I'm happy to have you here when you can be here. But don't feel guilty if you miss it. It's all good. It's all good. Ken, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. Hope you've been doing good. You asked, how's my book coming? New book. Y'all, very good. Let's see. I had a writing spree last Thursday and Friday. I think I did 8,000 words on Thursday and Friday last week, with an additional 2,000 on Saturday. So that was a good sprint. And I also finished the final edits on Thief of Honor. So if we go over to here and do this, there we go. So Thief of Honor, I wrote this on stream earlier this year. I just finished the final edit on it. So that one's very, very close to being published. It got delayed just because I got too busy with other work and it wasn't a high priority. But y'all, I know a lot of y'all have been waiting for this, so that's coming out pretty soon now. And then a Wrigley Little Assistant has been handed off to the editor as well. Both of these will be going out free to Discord members and newsletter subscribers, so I'll talk more about that when we get there. But these are both novellas that are prequels to my existing books. And they will be out for free to, like I said, newsletter subscribers and Discord members. So join those if you haven't already. So I just finished those, so that's going good. Now I am doing the last of my work on Paragon 5, and then Wrigley Little Hands 2. So books are coming great, long story short. Doing a lot of writing, and we're going to kick up the pace even more going forward. Young author, should I become a published author at 13? Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. You're actually the second author that's 13 years old in chat today, so hello to both of you. Dude, sooner you get published, probably the better. If nothing else, keep writing, keep working. You're only going to get better, and you're starting. It sounds like you're further along in the journey at 13 than I was, so rock on, man. If nothing else, it's a good head start. And literally the best thing you can do is read widely and write a lot. Those are the best things you can do to get better. Cassidy Cook, you saw Japanese Breakfast. I'm not familiar with them. What genre of music is that? Ken, how's your web novel been going, dude? You've got a lot of work put into that thing, man. You really are committed to it. I respect it. Oh, so yeah, I see you actually messaged already. You said I'm going through revisions and edits for the first 20 chapters of Volume 2. See what I mean, man? Y'all, if you haven't checked it out, Ken's got an awesome running story over on his profile. Dude is dedicated. He puts the work in for it. Definitely worth a look, in my opinion. Tit Rock says, I have some concepts. Can you help me? Drop the question, man. I'll see what I can do. Lila, how do I avoid stereotypes? I wouldn't worry about it too much. the every story in the world has already been told, but it hasn't been told by you. Your unique voice is what makes the story interesting and good and fun. When it comes to stereotypes or tropes, the reality is, as readers, we like them and they're good because they tell us what to expect and they're comfortable and familiar. Where the real originality comes out is the little twists you put on them. So I wouldn't worry too much about stereotypes. Just make sure that you're doing things that are creatively interesting to you and putting just little twists here and there that make you excited. I think that's the best way to do it. Oh, you're very welcome. I hope that helps, Lila. Jake Hartman, you said just random crazy people. Someone write me a huge thing about how using AI covers was evil. Gotcha. So just people being opinionated on Royal Road. Yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon. AI covers are much more accepted on Royal Road, particularly because it's a platform where people aren't, making money off of their books and whatnot. So I know it's more accepted there. I'm still not a huge fan of it, but I'm not going to tell people what to do. Sorry you're getting hate mail about stuff, though. That's not fun. Question from Say That Again on YouTube. A more personal one. How do you not get addicted to your work and stay up too late, keep writing, only for it to mess you up during work hours? Your current solution is eating food. It's tough. If you're not writing full time, I could see how you would want to write extra and be up late, mess up with your day job and stuff like that. I'm glad that you have that passion, that excitement. That's excellent. Nourish that and cherish it. When I had a day job, when I first started getting into writing, I would work 9 to 5, go home, eat dinner in the car while driving to the library, and then write at the library from 7 to midnight, something around there. So I would do late nights. Now that I write full time, it's a lot easier to not stay up writing too much because I've already done 2, 4, 6 hours of writing a day. So I'm pretty burnt out at that point, and I need to rest, especially because the most important thing to remember about writing, especially novels, is that it's a marathon. You need to write at a pace that is sustainable for you over the long haul. Even someone like me that writes relatively fast, I can do a novel. The fastest I've done a novel is about 2 months or 8 working weeks, 40 working days basically. That's about as fast as I've done a novel. I'm going to try to do faster here. I'm going to do some experiments later this year. But that's pretty fast. Even that is quite a marathon, y'all. That's 40 days of work on one project. So you got to remember, the important thing with writing is not to write fast, it's to write consistently. In the long haul, consistency is going to beat out passion and fast writing sprints. So the way to not stay up too late, get addicted to it, just keep going, is to make sure you're keeping a long-term mindset when you write. Just know it's going to take a while to write a full novel, so plan accordingly. Ken, you said you found an editor for Volume 2, and you're so glad you found one. He's been helping you like crazy. Dude, rock on. A good editor is so valuable. So valuable. To have someone who knows what they're doing come in and look at the story with fresh eyes. It's so easy to get too deep into the weeds, man. You get in the think tank when you're the only one working on the story. Editors are invaluable. I'm glad you found them, man. Leisha, good morning. Happy to have you. Good to see you. Do anything interesting this weekend? Just relax, maybe? It's good, too. Millie, 15 days into your birthday and school. Okay, rock on. You guys are starting school a little bit later there. It's all kicked off here in America, as far as I know. At least it has in the South. Don't know about the North. They have a slightly different schedule. But rock on. Happy early birthday. Rocks, you said, in short, we have the old continent and the frontier. The frontier is hidden behind mountains and has many different things, raw materials, artifacts, etc. Waiting on part 3. Okay, so you're setting up a question. Gotcha. I'll keep looking for it. Mayor Bear, you said balancing a full-time job, a novel, and a relationship is so hard. Oh, in an online community. It is tough, Mayor Bear. It really is. But hey, props to you for doing it. Just make sure make sure you think of your energy as a limited resource. You only have so much to give, so make sure you give it to the important things. The way that I'm thinking about it is especially during these next 12 days, my week of words, as I'm calling it, where I'm going to be writing a lot each day, like minimum 4,000 words a day. The way I'm thinking about it, like I prepped for this ahead of time, y'all. I think there's some good lessons in this. I got a huge grocery order, so I have all the food I need in the house. It's all easy to prepare food, so like it's not going to be having to cook long dinners. I got plenty of like snacks and comfort food and stuff. And I've cleared my schedule outside of streams and writing. That's basically all I'm doing. But I'm just making sure that I treat my energy as a resource such that I can write each day, do my stream if it's a streaming day, and then as soon as that's done, tap out, full hard relax, kick back and rest, because you really need to do that when you're working hard. And so Mare Bear, if you're doing, full-time job, relationship, on writing, online community, all that stuff, just make sure you protect your energy because you will burn out. Just be very conscious about it. Young author, I agree with you. RE book covers. I just like to find a good cover artist and give them a concept and trust in their craft, because I'm a writer. I work with words. They're an artist. They work with art, visual art. I trust them to do a good job with it. Young author, you have school and you don't know how you're going to manage writing and school. I found in middle school and high school that I ended up with a lot more time to write, because there's time in between classes, waiting to get picked up after school, before school. I just found a lot of in-between moments to write. So I quite enjoyed that. I would carry, a composition book or a notebook with me and write in that all the time. I hope you can find those in-between moments as well. Leisha, your weekend started yesterday. You're going to work on your animation this weekend. Dude, rock on. I love seeing how that's coming along. And I'm sorry that I continually forget that your weekend is shifted from the typical one. But I'm excited to see how that animation progresses. It's really cool to see. I love that you're working on that. Fat Frog, GCSE, a year finish in May after exams, so they get a longer holiday. Okay, you're talking about the English school system again? British? Rock on. Okay, Rox, I'm still reading your question. Millie, I've never had kimchi, I don't believe. It's like a type of cooked cabbage, right? I've eaten a lot of Korean food recently, actually, but not kimchi yet. Okay, Rox, I've read your multi-part question. What I would say is you've got a good world set up. Try to brainstorm the most interesting plots to you. Like, what's the most exciting thing that could happen in the world of your story? And plan a plot around that. Or you could just pick a character and just start writing, What's the most, the character you're most excited to work with? And then just start writing with them, You don't have to find your story ahead of time. You've got that wonderful world created. It sounds like a fun world. I dig a lot of those concepts. I'm actually quite excited by a lot of those concepts are stuff that I have in my writing, and I think it's just the coolest idea. I come back to those sort of themes. Just play around in the space. You've got enough world built, just focus in on one town, one character, one event, and just start writing for it and see where it takes you. Mill, you said it's fermented Korean Napa cabbage. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I love vegetables. I'll be excited to try it. Panda, you said, I've tuned into one of your streams in the past. You're making a map. What website is that? The website is inkcarnate.com. I will put it in chat for you because it's spelled a bit weird. I'll put it in YouTube and TikTok chat. There you go. Inkcarnate.com is a free online map maker. And every Friday stream, y'all, we make fantasy maps live on stream. So do tune in. It's been a lot of fun. Loving the new map so far. And we'll keep working on it this Friday. Make sure to come on back for that one. Love to have you. Excited to work on it. And I haven't done the pitch today yet, y'all, so I'll just say real quick. I'm a full-time author. Writing books and selling them is how I support myself. So if you want to support me and support the stream, or maybe you just like good books, at least I think they're good books, check out my newest. The link is in my bio. for Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip. It's been described as a D&D campaign where nobody put any points into intelligence, and the DM's taking shots after every chapter. It's a lot of fun, in my opinion. It's on Amazon, Audible, ebook, paperback, audiobook, any format you want. Kindle Unlimited, it's there. So links are in bio. Please pick up a copy if you want. Or you can just follow the links and check out all of my books. I got 10 of them published now and much more on the way. Plenty of different genres, so I'm sure there's something to your liking there. Thank you very much, y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. Young author, you said, what's the background music? You want to listen to it? So if you go to my bio, young author, my bio on TikTok, there's a link to my link tree. If you go to that link tree page, I have a Spotify playlist made of the background music, so you can find it there. Sleepy Nova on YouTube, he said, hey, this is 4-6. How you doing? Hey, good to see you, man. Welcome in. Jumping over to the YouTube side of the audience, huh? Glad to have you, man. Hope you're doing good. Cassidy, you said, I love kimchi. Fermentation, such a neat process. You know, I've never looked into it. Like, I understand the basic level of how it works, but I guess I've never looked into it too close. Maybe I'm missing out on some cool stuff there. Leisha, you must be from the West Coast. You said you were reading Wriggly Little Hands at work. The in and out joke made you laugh. Hey, I'm glad to hear that. I thought it was pretty silly when I threw it in there, but I'm glad people are digging it. You got to be from at least somewhere towards the west of the country, right, Leisha? So a lot of the people a lot of my Floridian neighbors aren't too familiar with it. I still can't read that username. Is it Azazel? I think that's what it is. You said, do you know the app Obsidian? I've never used it. I get asked about it a lot. A lot of folks seem to like it for note-taking and plotting and stuff. I've never used it myself, but I've looked into it after people talk about it, and they seem to be excited about it. Millie, you're giving me some Hangul, huh? Nagu. Gim. Ji, so that's probably kimchi. Kimchi. It's in the front, so it's a K. It's a little bit hard to read. I think it's a C-H-O-H. Cho-a-hey yo, I guess. My Korean's not great yet, but we're working on it. Can recognize all the characters. Can recognize kimchi in there. And an E. Yeah, we'll get there. I appreciate the test, though. Virtuous Sam, you said lots of respect to you for being an author. Well, you're too kind, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Millie, I'm working on it. I've been doing my Korean every day. We're getting there. What are we on? I just finished actually Unit 1 of my lessons. So I had a Unit 1 exam. It was very intimidating. Ended up not being too bad, but it's been fun. I really, really enjoy it. It's really fun to learn a language that is truly like you step away from the romanization of it very quickly. I think that's very satisfying as like a mental puzzle. I turned off the romanization like instantly, which made it a lot harder, but made it very fun. I really enjoy learning it. Azazel, you said Obsidian is good because you can put a picture in the middle as an example and connect it to text to another or other pictures. Yeah, I've heard about that. It's a very different way of thinking about and taking notes and outlines and stuff. I think there's definitely potential there, especially if your brain works more in that direction. Mine is very streamlined. I'm a very one-track kind of focused sort of worker. So my best process is literally just like flashcards with chapter notes on them, and then just to write the story in a straight one shot. Yeah, if your brain, it's all about how your brain works, right? Obsidian could be great for you. Millie, you said try Korean on Duolingo. I'm using it to study Spanish. Oh, I'm pretty good at Spanish on Duolingo. I'm pretty good. I'm like a 30 out of 160 on whatever metric they use for grading, which I think is not bad for 6 months of learning. And I do Korean on Duolingo as well. I have 2 apps I use for it, as well as independent study. Sleepy Nova, aka 46, you said your TikTok's been acting up, so you're over on YouTube today. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's a little strange, but Glad we have you on YouTube, buddy. Young author, you use Obsidian for everything for your book, and you visualize a lot. Yeah, I think there's something to that. I think it's good for visual learners, people that think more visually. I could see that. I'm glad it works for you, man. Yeah, Jack Ann, I agree. The brain maps in Obsidian are really crazy to look at. Like, they're very exciting and fun, is what I think when I look at them, and I kind of want to mess around with it just to kind of see how that ends up working. So if I ever play with it, I'd be excited to see how that works out, you know? Sage, you said hello. You're drawing out maps for your D&D campaign right now. Fun, man. Rock on. Hope that's going well. How you making them? Hand drawing them, or using a program like Incarnate or something? Say that again on YouTube. You said, question. Is it definitely not it's definitely not recommended, but is it possible for an author to do everything, like writing, marketing, publishing, and editing? When I say everything, I mean everything. So I mean, yeah, a lot of self-published authors do that. I would say the one that's most important in there to not do is the editing. You need to self-edit, obviously, but it's really important to pay an editor to come in and look at your story, because as the author, there's just going to be so much stuff that you're not going to catch, that you need an outside look to find all the typos, the mistakes, things that don't make sense to you. You're too close to the story to give it a proper edit. You can do your best to find typos and clean it up and whatnot, but you really do need an editor to come in. The rest of that list are totally possible. It's just going to be a lot of work, but that's the life that a lot of self-pub authors live. You know, they do everything. So, you know, it's rough. I've done everything on that list myself outside of the editing. It's a lot of work. It's not my preferred way to work. I prefer to work with a small press or trad pub. But I definitely have self-pubbed a couple books and gone through all that. It's really just kind of about what you enjoy, right? I enjoy writing, so my preference is to work with publishers when I can, so that I can just focus on the writing and make it the best I can. Because I really don't like marketing. I really don't like editing. So stick to what you enjoy as best you can. Carl, you said, what kind of books do I write? Well, thank you for asking, my friend. Well, here's a lot of my published books. My most recent are fantasy, right here, especially this one. Wriggly Little Hands is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord, but they're goblins, so it's full of wacky and whimsical ways they mess it up. It's very goofy, very Terry Pratchett-esque, if you're into that. And then down here are Lit RPG, if you're into that. All of these are linked in my bio, and you can go check them out on Amazon. There are audiobooks for all of them. They're all in Kindle Unlimited, so any way you want to read them or listen to them, you can. Thank you for asking, my friend. Please check them out. Sage, you're hand drawing the maps. You find it easier? Dude, that's cool. I like it. There's something beautiful, fulfilling, and just like, I don't know, tactile in doing things by hand. It's so easy to do everything on the computer, and you can do everything on the computer these days, that sometimes I really enjoy getting back to a more classic way of doing things. I mean, I write on a typewriter sometimes. It's nice in a world that's mostly digital. It's just nice to get back to tactile, physical things once in a while. Yeah, Jack Ann, spot on. Good point. You said self-published authors barter services frequently. Writing groups can be helpful. It's true. It's a whole support network out there and a community you can lean on and learn from. Young author, you said, since I'm a young author, I'm scared that I'll get rejected for publishing and I'll have to self-publish. So, young author, this is going to be really important advice. Take this to heart. This is a truth about writing and publishing that I feel like nobody wants to accept, and yet always has to accept at some point, and I'm no different. I fully did not want to accept this, but the first book you write is not going to be, very likely, 99% not going to be a massive breakout success that puts you on the map. In fact, the first book you write is probably not going to get published. Being a successful author is about endurance and persistence and going, okay, that book didn't work. I'm not going to give up on it. I'll keep querying it to publishers. I'll keep trying to get it out there. But I'm also going to work on the next book. And then when that's done, you send that out to publishers. You try with that one. And while you're doing that, you work on the next one. Writing the next thing is the way you're going to progress and get better fastest. Writing is not about having like one world-changing idea, writing it into a book, selling it, making a ton of money. It's very much a persistence game of, I'm going to write because I love it. I'm just going to keep writing stories until one of them hits. So try to not think of your each book as like, oh, this is going to be the one that does it. Get excited about them for sure, but just know that often it's going to take several books before you really get out there, and just be okay with that. I learned that the hard way, and it's unfortunately a truth of publishing for 99% of authors. So as long as you go into it knowing that ahead of time, you'll be solid. Azazel, a reader texted you once on Insta to read your story, but he pushed you into buying his services, so I declined. Yeah, don't pay for anything like that, Azazel. There might be legitimate services that charge for that sort of thing. I don't think you need to do that. I would hire an editor before I would pay a reader to get their opinions and stuff. Fat Frog, so this is why you love your advice to write lots of short stories and write. Yes, thank you. That's why I say that, Fat Frog. Y'all watch Dragon Ball Z? You know the hyperbolic time chamber or training chamber, I forget what it was called. It was a room that they could go into where they could train for a long period of time to get stronger and level up and stuff, and time didn't move as fast in the outside world while they were in there. That's what short stories are. Short stories are a way to write a complete story, learn all of the elements you need to write a novel without writing a full novel. They're really the secret to getting better. Write short stories. I'm telling you, they're the best training. Good engines on YouTube. Do you like Slipknot? Yeah, I was into Slipknot back in the day. I'm a big metalhead, so I love heavier stuff. I don't listen to as much Slipknot these days, but yeah, they were formative for me back in high school. I'm on to different sorts of metal now, but yeah, they rock. Say that again. Have you ever, on YouTube, asked, have you ever gotten mad at your writing at some points? Like pushed your table or ripped paper mad? I don't think I've ever gotten that mad, but I've definitely been annoyed with it and stepped away from it at times and just kind of like, been fed up with it. It's part of the process, man. Writing's tough. It's really a hard industry, There's ups and downs, but the ups are great. The downs are rough, but I think in the end it ends up with more... Probably more ups than downs. We'll see. Leighton, you said, can you give me some tips on writing because I'm making a fantasy world and also a World War I book series? Okay. Tips on writing. I think the most important things on writing are to just truly, fearlessly, unabashedly write what you're excited about. Don't worry about how other people are going to take it. Don't worry about what they're going to think about it. You have to be the first person to enjoy and have fun with your story. So make sure when you're writing that you're having fun and doing what you find interesting. I think that's the most important tip. And honestly, I think really don't worry about what is going to... Just don't worry too much about the future. Like, enjoy your writing, write a lot, and just like vibe with it. It's one of the, I don't know about one of the few, but it's certainly an industry where you can get better simply through doing, and practice is totally free. So practice and have fun with it as much as you want. That's how you're going to get better. Just those two things, really. I think those are important. Young author, he said, I'm thinking to write a fun book with different types of creatures after I finish this one. Hey, rock on. I encourage you, though, to try a short story. Try that, because it's going to be, it's a lot more approachable. You can do a short story in a couple weeks as opposed to months for a novel. So you can try out more stories, because you might need to find the genre that you enjoy writing in. And easy way to test that is with short stories instead of full novels. Jack Ann, you said, have I heard Bad Omen's new song, Spectre, specifically the music video / short film for it? I haven't, Jack Ann, but I'll make a note of it right here, and I will look at it after stream. If I could type. All right, there we go. I'll give it a look. Sung Moon, you said watching this live got me motivated, and I started writing a story I haven't touched since last year. That is the best thing to hear. I'm so glad. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for telling me. If you have any questions as you're moving through it, please feel free to ask. I am here to help. But rock on. That's so exciting, dude. That's incredible. I hope it goes well for you. I hope you have fun with it. Fat Frog. Okay, you were responding to someone else. Rock on. Oh, you're responding to Thrawn, who said, "How do I get a publisher?" Good question. Good question, Thrawn. You got to look at what type of publishing you want, first of all. Do you want to do traditional publishing, or do you want to do small press publishing? If you want small press, most of the time you can reach out to them directly. They will have instructions on their website for how to query them with novels. If you want to do traditional publishing, you actually go through a literary agent first, 99% of the time. So what you would do is you would look up literary agents who are selling books actively in your genre. Then you would go to their website and you would look at what their submission requirements are, and you send them a query letter, which is going to introduce you, the concept of your novel, maybe a couple comp titles, comparison titles to what your book is similar to, its word count, its genre, etc. And they will evaluate that, and if they like it, they will ask you to send more of the book, and they might take you on as a client, and they'll work with you to clean up your novel, get it publishing ready, and then they will strategically submit your novel to editors at publishing houses to see if there's interest. That's kind of how you go through it with traditional publishing. It's a slower process, but so is everything with traditional publishing. But that's just because there's more weight behind it all. You have a publisher behind you. You have a literary agency behind you, et cetera, et cetera. So pick what kind of publishing you want: small press, self-pub, traditional publishing, etc. Look at the pros and cons of them, and then you'll decide from there. And then as you move through those processes, if you have any questions, ask me, please. I'm happy to help. I know a little bit about all of them. Fat Frog, your answer was pretty spot on. I appreciate that. Boss Creeper Slay on YouTube says, "I'm writing a story with a bit of a unique magic system right now. It's based on the creation of matter and forces of nature by using energy based on a string theory. Think it's a decent idea?" So it sounds cool, Boss Creeper. Thank you for the question. It sounds cool. I think definitely develop that if you're interested in it, and keep going with it. What I'll say is the magic system itself won't sell a story. What sells stories are convincing dramatic plots and characters that people get interested in really quickly. So definitely have that really cool magic system, because it does sound awesome and that's going to be fun to read, but you need to pair it with a character or characters that you get the readers to care about a lot, or a really good plot that you get readers to care about, or preferably both, and then that cool magic system. People find it easier to connect with characters right off the bat, so it's an easy way to hook people by getting a compelling character right on, right out of the first chapter of the story. I often make the mistake of trying to sell books based on settings or and whatnot, magic systems, etc. But characters are really where it starts. A lot of questions coming in on TikTok, so let me catch up on these. Furball Flashback, you said, "I'm one of your favorite authors that you've met on here." Thank you, my friend. That is too kind of you. Please, I'm always happy to have you here. Hop in, ask questions, hang out. Happy to help however I can. You're flattering me, but I love to hear it, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Young author, "I enjoy writing mystery, but I want to write fantasy with different types of creatures." Hey, why not both? You can do fantasy mystery. Fantasy is a very big genre, right? Mystery is more of like, it is a genre, but it's also like mystery can be contained within fantasy, so you can do a mystery in a fantasy world, right? Go for it, dude. Do both. Azazel, I probably said that already. Was it an earlier message? I think it might not have come through, Azazel. Let's see, I probably said that already. Here we go. But are vampire stories overrated? Okay, so one of my most cherished pieces of advice is every story in the world has already been written, but it hasn't been written by you. Your unique voice is what makes the story different. There's been a lot of vampire stories, sure, but I don't think that there's so many that we can't do more. And there's definitely not so many that we can't do more through your specific take on them. So don't worry about oversaturation too much. Write the story that's interesting to you. If you're writing to sell a lot of books, you might take into account, is this specific genre, is this niche hot right now? Is it in vogue? Has it been in vogue for a while and I think it might go out by the time I get finished publishing? That's stuff to think about if you're trying to explicitly make money off of it. So you would consider, the trends, kind of like fashion, things come and go. But don't ever let it stop you if that's what you really want to write. Let's see. Furball, I ended up sending a fully finished manuscript to 8 publishers 2 weeks ago. Congratulations. One of the publishers in the UK in Cambridge wanted the full galley to read. Well, congratulations, dude. Any advice in the meantime while I wait 6 weeks for them to read the entire thing? My advice in the meantime is to start working on the next story. That's kind of always my advice. If you've reached a point where you don't need to write in your current project anymore, start working on the next one. I think everybody, me included, wants to think that their first book or their second book or their third book is going to be a big breakout success. It's going to put them on the map. And it might happen. It very well might. But if it doesn't, it'd be great if you're already working on the next project, right? Plus, you've learned so much writing the previous project. Now you get to apply that and write the next project even better. So my advice in the meantime, start writing the next thing, for sure. Nessie is not an artist. You said, what would you recommend for a debut novel? Something you're passionate about, something you're excited about, a story that you enjoyed writing and experiencing, because the truth of the matter is you have to be the first person to enjoy your book. Decky, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. Happy Monday to you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Say that again. Says the first few published books of most authors are not great, but is it possible to hone your craft to make great stories without publishing anything? Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure. I think all you need to get better at writing is to read a lot and write a lot. It's just those two things. Do both and you're going to get better for sure. Boss Creeper, you said I've been on YouTube, said I've been filling notebooks with character ideas. I'm narrowing down the good ones right now. I've already fleshed out the magic system itself, and I've spent probably the last month revising all my story point ideas and potential characters. And the All Being on YouTube says hello, dude. Hello, welcome in. Boss Creeper, my only advice there is going to be don't get lost in the sauce. Don't spend too long on the world building. Find a story, a plot that you're fascinated with, and run with it. Unless you just want to do world building, nothing wrong with that. I know there's a whole community of people that just do world building and don't write stories. They just enjoy building the world. Totally fine. But if you're looking to write, what you should do is just jump in to a story and start going. You could world build infinitely, but at some point you got to dive into the story, right? Tedam4588 says, if you're doing a live and not in your writing cave, are you really a full-time author? Well, Ted, I'm going to put about 4,000 words on the page today after the live, and writing is my full-time job, so I would say I am. It's where I make all my income from. I have written and published 10 books. I got 3 more on the way, and 2 more already written that are in the publishing trenches, either being audio recorded or shopped to publishers, etc., etc. Welcome in, my friend. Sorry, a lot of questions came in, and I'm trying to catch up on them here. Mystery would be like a subgenre to me, says Other Name wasn't available, since any genre could be a mystery story. Yeah, I totally agree, Other Name. Totally agree. Colby Maxwell, about to hit 20,000 words in my first ever novel attempt. Any advice for the mid portion? First of all, rock on, bro. Good stuff. Congratulations. 20,000 is no small feat. Advice for the mid portion? Momentum and consistency. Try to set a writing schedule and stick to it, because passion is a great thing to ride when you have it, but the passion will fade in the story, and that's where consistency and what's the word I'm looking for here? dedication, it's not quite the right word, but it's close, that's where that's going to take over and carry you through. So try to establish consistency so that once the passion burns out, the consistency can carry you until that passion reignites. That's definitely my advice for the mid portion. A lot of people get bogged down in the second act of their story. Congratulations, though, man. Keep it rocking. Jack says, I'm planning on a high fantasy trilogy and I've started writing it. Do you have any tips? Yes. I say this for a lot of folks that start writing. Everybody jumps into writing novels. Start with short stories. Short stories are quicker, they're easier, but they teach you everything you need to know for writing a novel. They have characters, conflict, resolution, beginning, middle, end. They are novels in miniature, and it teaches you how to write novels. But it's a lot faster to write short stories than it is entire novels. They can take forever to write entire novels. So before embarking on a whole trilogy, before embarking on a whole novel, write a couple short stories. Get a feel for it. Because you don't want to be 60,000 words into your first novel and go, actually, I don't love this concept. But if you had a short story and you just, did a 10,000 word short story and you're like, I don't love this concept, well, you've still got a finished story out of it, but you've also learned you want to write something different. It's the equivalent of running a 5K before you run a marathon, right? But congratulations, Jack, and have fun with it, man. Furball, you said, should what I write as my next project be the second book after this or something unrelated? Something unrelated, in my opinion. I would not begin working on the second book until the first book is a proven seller. You don't want to get into a situation like, being real here, this book right here, Servant of Rage, I love it. It's a great book. I worked really hard on it. I'm really proud of it. It did not sell well. It totally flopped on launch. We did everything we could to make a big launch. It just didn't work out. But I sold the rights to the trilogy when I wrote it. So now I'm committed to writing books 2 and 3. I know that books 2 and 3 will not sell more than book 1, and book 1 did not sell well. So I know that that's really just time down the drain for those next 2 books, but I sold the rights to the trilogy. I don't want to leave the few readers that are reading it hanging, so I'm going to finish it. That being said, you never want to be in that situation. It's not a good place to be. So if you're trying to sell your first book, don't start working on the sequel to it. Write something new that's unrelated. You don't want to put time writing a sequel to a book that doesn't sell or doesn't sell well. Nessie, you said, sorry, Nessie, we'll get to that in a second. There was one question higher up that I wanted to answer. Tide and Terra, good to see you. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Where was that question? Someone asked, I wish I could find it. Someone asked for advice on outlining. Sorry that I missed your name, but advice on outlining is find out what system works for you. There are different ways to outline, and you just kind of figure out what works for you. Some people outline everything down to the last detail. That works for them. Some folks don't outline anything. They just write and seat of their pants, fly through it. Some people are in between, like me. I do a skeleton outline, I call it. It's basically a bullet point outline with I do one flashcard per chapter with like 2 to 4 bullet points on it. I try to keep it really slim. That's how it works best for me. And then I improvise in the moment, but I have the guide rails of a story through there. You really got to try all the different outlining methods and find out what works best for you. Isabel Knight on YouTube, good to see you. Happy Monday to you. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, well, Isabel, see, my advice for writing short stories first, I don't think it applies to you because you've already written and completed novels, so you've shown that you can do that. And that's where you're happy with. So rock on, man. You got those finished stories done. You are at a more advanced level, I would say, than someone I would tell to write short stories to. Let's see. Tide and Terra, you asked, how do you feel about the trending style of blending genres? I think it's great. I think it's really exciting to try new things. Just make sure that I think it should really be 80% one genre and 20% the other, because you don't want to make it so right down the middle that it's not enough of either one for your reader base. You want to attract people in that genre with something that is enough like that genre that they're excited about it, and then blend a little extra into it. It's kind of like, I don't think you can have the best of both. I think you need to have 80% of one and 20% of another. But I'm not the end-all be-all on that. Other authors might have different opinions. I'm not the best-selling author in the world, so my advice is not law. It's a beautiful thing about art, man. There's so many different ways to do it, right? Cassidy said congrats on the 20K to another, I blank on the name, but who was it? Let's see if we can find it here. It was Jack, I think, right? Leisha said we should do some writing sprints in the server. Yeah, y'all, here, I'll drop the link again. If you want to do some writing sprints, our lovely... Oh, it was Colby. It was Colby Maxwell. Yes, congrats again on the 20K, my guy. That's seriously impressive. Y'all, if you want to join our Discord server, I'm dropping the link in chat now. One of the things we do there are writing sprints. Alicia's one of the active writing sprinters there. We have a whole channel where you can set a time, you can invite others to join you, and then that timer will run. And during that, you just write, work on your book, and then at the end of the timer, it's generally like 5 minutes, you report how many words you wrote, and the bot in there will just, have everybody's word count, say how everybody did, and it's just kind of a fun way to write communally. Yeah, jump on in there, y'all, if that's something you're interested in. It's a great way to, writing's lonely. It's fun to do it together sometimes. Gio, welcome in, my friend. I see you've been pumping out the art, dude. It's beautiful stuff. Y'all, if you don't know, Zeogrim here in chat, he streams on Twitch, I think every day now, it looks like. My man is a wonderful artist. Highly recommend checking out his stuff. His art's nuts, y'all. Okay, I missed so many questions. Nessie, oh, this is a good one. You said, is it a good idea to have a pen name for different genres and voices? Or can we maintain one? Okay. Yes. Pen names, I think, are great, particularly if you want to write in different genres. Don't be like me, y'all. I've learned the hard way. I used one pen name for all of these books that are in vastly different genres, like comedy fantasy, thriller fantasy, epic dark fantasy, lit RPG, right? I do enjoy having them all under one name, but it confuses my audience. If someone comes to me because they loved my comedy fantasy book, and they're like, oh, has he written other stuff? Yes, but it's not comedy fantasy. They're all wildly different. I know a lot of successful authors will keep their genres divided between different pen names. It's a good thought if that's what you want to do. That way your audience knows what to expect from you. Say that again on YouTube. Question: how would you write multiple very different stories that exist in the same universe and have it not be weird? I just do it in the same universe, I don't think there's too much to it as long as the stories don't interact that much. I think it'd be fine. Yeah, I don't think there'd be any issues with it. Boss Creeper, you said, how many copies has your bestseller sold, and were you expecting that one in particular to sell the best, or was it a surprise? Good question. So I could pull the stats up. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and pull it up. This is my bestseller to date, is Warden. It's my first book. It's still my bestseller. Let me grab my data on it. My spreadsheets are a little bit outdated. I haven't done it in a quarter or so. But Warden, at recent count, has sold 4,500 ebooks, 100 paperbacks, 2,600 audiobooks, and it's had 3.5 million page reads on Kindle Unlimited. So that's my most recent stats on Warden. That's probably about a couple months out of date. But that is my bestseller. It definitely surprised me because we just kind of dropped that book as my first book, and it took off. I did not expect that to happen at all. And I'd like to have that happen again. So we're going to keep trying. It's also a completed trilogy, which gives it an advantage. You can buy the whole box set of it really cheap. So a lot of folks do that. All right. Let's see. Decky, you said, I'm finding the flashcards this episode blurb method is so nice for outlining. Hey, rock on, man. I don't have any here, but yeah, I've been using that a lot lately. I really like it. I'm glad it's working for you too. I think there's something to it. It's really nice just to have your plot point, your chapter outline contained just one flashcard, right? And you hold it up, you got it. That's your guide light. It also forces you, particularly me, to not plan too much ahead of time and get bogged down in the world building and stuff. Dear.como said, how do you turn a short story into a full book? You find more story, essentially. If you're enjoying the short story and you feel like there's more to say, you can make the plot bigger or more dramatic. That would be how you turn it into a book. You need to have more plot, essentially. Other name wasn't available asked, does a trope emerge from a story, or is a story written with a trope in mind? It could be either way. It could go either way. You could go in with tropes. I think it's honestly both, probably. I think you can go in with tropes in mind, but I think intrinsically, as you write, tropes will also develop that you didn't plan on being there. I've had that happen in a lot of my books, where I end up writing something I wasn't aware of into it, and then upon rereading, I'm like, oh yeah, no, you could totally take that message from it. I wasn't thinking that. And I think that's part of the beauty of writing. You're really speaking through your subconscious as you write, and things that you're not actively aware of will come out, and you kind of get some introspection from that. Victor Sierra, you said favorite book? Picking one's hard, but it's probably Jurassic Park. I really love the novelization of Jurassic Park. It's a great book. And it's pretty unique, too. What about you? What's your favorite if you can only pick one? Say That Again on YouTube asked, or said, I'm currently writing a story about a teen anti-hero in a poor city whose mom is a mob boss, and a different story where a monkey and a hippo fight kaiju with food. Both are in the same world. Okay, I see how those would be conflicting. It would be tough to get the world unified, but I think you could do it. It's totally doable as long as the tone is there. I think you could do it. It'll be challenging for sure, but I think you could do it. Tide and Terra, have you ever been under your genre word count? If yes, how do you overcome that? Being under word count is not often an issue for me, but honestly, what really helps the most is just more practice. As you practice more, you start to get like this internal, almost metronome in the back of your head that tells you subconsciously how long a story should be, and you just fit into the expected length of the story more. I really just think practice is the way to go. And if you're under word count and you need to fix it after the fact, look at adding subplots. Think about what subplot might be able to be added in that would add to the story, make it better. And then go back to specific points throughout the story and add that subplot in. You can kind of grab your story, open it up a little bit, and insert another little subplot in there, and then build that through the story. Because the way a subplot should go is it'll be like this, right? It's like a wave. It should come up and become the main plot at times, then dip back down beneath the main plot. So it'll buffer, it'll pad your word count by having it come in and enter the story and leave the story at different points, and then build to a resolution at some point. If you're trying to add words, I do something like that. That's how I would do it in a meaningful way. But realistically, as you get better and practice more, you just start to understand how long a story should be and writing it to that length. Colby Maxwell just joined the Discord. Have a good one. You'll stay connected. Hey, thank you for being here, man. I'm excited to see you in Discord. Appreciate you stopping by. And thank you for all the follows today, folks. You're too kind. I appreciate you. Fat Frog says, am I dumb? I never knew Jurassic Park was a book. A lot of people don't, but it was written for book and film simultaneously. So they actually go together really well. And I think it's a great book. The first 100 pages are very slow, in my opinion. Michael Crichton likes to do that. But y'all, once it gets to the story, holy cow, does it pick up and not stop. It's so good. Beef, I feel heartbroken because I thought you were just Asmongold. Hey, another Asmongold mention. Put the counter up to 51. Rock on. I get that a lot. But hey, so it goes. I'll lean into it. No worries. Pink Guy Boss. Do I read manga? I've never read manga. I like storytelling in all aspects, though, and I definitely read graphic novels. I've read comic books. I enjoy them. So just never manga itself. Not yet. No reason. I would love to. I just haven't done it yet. Steppen, you asked, how did the map for Wriggly Little Hands go? It's going good, my guy. And we're still going to be working on it on Fridays. Every Friday, we'll keep working on the map. So that's our Friday stream. Mondays, we do Q&A, as we're doing now. And on Wednesdays, I ask you guys to come with your favorite books in mind. Tell me what they are. And I pull them up on Amazon. I read the opening lines, and we kind of dissect it from an author's POV. Hey, Ben, my guy, going with the original lookalike reference. You said, am I Andrew Luck's brother? Ben, especially when I had hair, it was frightening how much I look like Andrew Luck. And Andrew Luck is a big reader, dude. He started a book club for his teammates. I think Andrew Luck's a pretty sick dude. So is he my long-lost brother? Could be. I'd be cool with it. He seems like a cool dude. Slindy, Andrew Luck was a quarterback in the NFL. Google him, dude. It's especially when I had hair, we look frighteningly similar. Shopster Bro, good to see you, my guy. Welcome back in, and thank you for picking up a copy of Wriggly Little Hands. I hope you enjoy it, dude. Thank you so much for that. Welcome back in. And y'all, if you don't know, I am a full-time author. Writing and selling books is my job. Streaming is something I do on the side just for fun to interact with everybody. If you want to check out one of my books, here's my newest one. Wriggly Little Hands is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord and all the wonderful wacky ways they mess that up. They're goblins. Links for it are in my bio. It's an audiobook. It's an ebook. It's paperback. It's on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited. Please, if it sounds interesting to you, give it a look. I appreciate it. Shobster just picked it up, and he's been enjoying it. So, hey, proof of concept, huh? Yeah, other name, the Asmongold counter is up to 51 references since I started streaming. It's climbing and climbing. Jack Ann, have I ever seen Arcane? You're loving the storyline and find it refreshingly unexpected. I have. It's a great story. I've only seen season 1. I still need to get around to season 2, but it's beautiful animation. It's really good storytelling. I'm a huge fan. They struck gold with that, and I'm so glad to see such an original artistic piece. It's awesome. Destroy and Dan, good to see you, my friend. Rock on. Good. Hope you're having a good week. Good start to the week. Hope you had a good weekend, and welcome in. Azazel, you said maybe I missed it. My bad, but which story concept did you dislike? Was there a concept I said I disliked, or was it a question that I answered? I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head. Step in, you said I don't... feel free, Azazel, to clarify with another message, and I'll see if that triggers the memory. Step in, you said I don't really read books, but I want to read Wriggly Little Hands because it sounds very interesting. Oh, well, thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Hey, if you like audiobooks, there is a wonderful audiobook edition on Audible. Check it out. It's got an incredible cast on it. It's really cool. Sound Booth Theater did an awesome job with that. And if you're a fan of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, which has blown up recently, the narrator of that, Jeff Hayes, is one of the narrators in Wriggly Little Hands. So you get more of his amazing talent, along with an incredibly talented cast overall. Cole, Wrigley is not on Libby to my knowledge. I don't believe it is, but it's on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, Audible, and you can order it through Barnes & Noble, etc. .com. Disco, you said the art's incredible. Did you do it yourself? Well, thank you, my man. I did not. I could not have done this. Shout out to my cover artist, Ivan Shavrin. Dude is an absolute genius. He did the art for this, and he did the art for the prequel that I just got out into editing. A Wriggly Little Assistant is coming soon. It will be free to my Discord members and newsletter subscribers. Links for those are in my bio. So if you want the free prequel to Wriggly Little Hands, or another free prequel in Thief of Honor, which is a prequel to Servant of Rage, both of these will be free to Discord members and newsletter subscribers. So stay tuned on that. Those are coming out very soon, guys. And totaled together, that's like 30,000 free words. Ronan the Accuser Gaming, good to see you, buddy. Happy Monday to you. Rock on. Hope you're doing well. I've got a couple of your videos pushed to me on TikTok lately. I've been watching some of those gaming experiences, my dude. Looks like you're having a good time. You gonna be playing Battlefield 6 once it drops? Kill a Bee to God. How did you start writing your current book? Is there a key to the process? Just start and have fun with it. That's really it. My current book is actually that I'm writing is book 5 in a series. It's the final book in a series. As to how did I start, man, I read a lot. I had fun writing. I had fun reading, and I went, I can probably write, right? And I just started doing it. Start with short stories, but just have fun and do what's fun for you. Raffi said, I've been so tired from my dreams, I'm having trouble writing, ironically, about said dreams. Yeah, Raffi, I feel like I wish you could get some better sleep, my guy. You gotta have energy to write. It's tough. It's hard to write, right? I don't know what the answer is there, man. I'm sorry you've been too tired to write. It's not fun. Los, but who cares? Or maybe it was lost, but who cares? How do you keep track of storyline continuity? I'm new to writing and I'm struggling. Start with the short stories I've been talking about. It's easier to keep track of a plot across a short story. 2,000 to 10,000 words is a lot easier to track a story than a 100,000 word novel. And then you just build up that acuity over time. You just get better and better by doing. It'll eventually become something that's more natural to you with practice. It's okay to struggle early on. It's all part of the journey. Just know that if you keep with it, one day you're going to look back and go, man, this used to be so hard for me, and now it's easy. I really recommend for writing, best way to get better is to write short stories and to read a lot of books. The rest comes naturally. You don't have to put in more effort than that. Stepan, you got to run, but you'll join the Discord. Hey, I appreciate that, man. And thank you for being here. Thank you for asking good questions. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Y'all, as a reminder, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time. And we're running a bit long today because of so many good questions. But thank you for being here and asking good questions. We'll wrap this up in about 5 minutes here. So I'm gonna go through the last few questions, and then we'll call it a day. But thank you for great questions. Then I'll be back at Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time, so please join me then. Tide and Tara, how did I select my editor? Well, my editor for, let's see if we pull my books up again. My editor for Servant of Rage and Rise to Glory and Warden came with the publishing house. Those are all done through Portal Books, so I used Portal Books editor. For The Far Wild, I sold that to Audible, so they brought their own editor along. Wriggly Little Hands, I chose my own because that is self-pub. So I chose my own editor for that one. But I just knew working editors and had experience, with one that I really liked. So I approached her and was like, hey, what's your rate to edit? And had a great experience. Paragon is co-written, and I'm the junior author on that series, so the senior author had editors he wanted to work with, so we went with that. So it kind of comes with the publisher, essentially. Slendy, thank you for the tiny Trek. That's a very cute gift. I appreciate you, my friend. Hey, gift for a gift. You send tiny, I send you goblins. These are for you, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for always being here. It's so encouraging and refreshing to see you hanging out, man. I appreciate my stream OGs. Let's see. Boo Boo Defoo says, how do you organize your story to build out a world? It's a personal process. You gotta just experiment with what works for you. Some folks like to plan out every detail ahead of time. Some like to just figure it out as they go. Some are somewhere in between. I have traditionally been in between. I think I'm leaning more these days towards kind of figuring it out as I go. For whatever reason, the way my brain works, I'm kind of an improv writer. My best ideas always come in the moment. And I think part of the writing process for me is learning to trust that it's okay not to have everything mapped out ahead of time, because I've just found through experience that I work best in the moment. So I'm becoming okay with that. I don't love that as a concept. I like to have everything planned out, but I'm finding I work better being okay with not having it all planned out. The only way to find out what it is for you is to try all three, essentially. Say That Again on YouTube says, now it's time to do the thing I do with every streamer. Share a fun fact of the day. Splinter-free toilet paper wasn't invented until 1935. Well, that is terrifying. Is that a fun fact or a horrific fact? Thank you for that. Say That Again. And for some really great questions, man. It's been fun chatting with you. Cody Hops says, I just finished my first book out of 4 and started querying literary agents. Hey, congratulations, Cody. Rock on, man. Finishing a book is no small feat. Well done to you. Rock on, man. My advice, I would say, for that is don't start writing book 2 in that series until you have sold book 1. Start writing something in a new project, because you don't want to invest time into a book 2 if book 1 ends up not getting, sold. So definitely continue the momentum, but start working on something else. And good luck for querying. If you have questions during the querying process, please feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to help. And Cody, I also recommend, let's see if we can get this through the chat filter. Hope that went through the chat filter. Reddit.com/r/pubtips is a beautiful, I think the best online community for help with querying. They help you workshop your query letters. They share advice for how to get through the querying process, what to expect. Check out that subreddit. It is full of authors that are in the process of querying or have successfully queried and been picked up by agents. I'm there giving advice as well. It's a lovely community. Definitely go check them out. I think it's one of the most valuable writing communities online. Neji, you said, what's a great way to write a main villain? Make your villain think that they are the main character. They should be doing things because they believe it's what they should be doing. Like, give them just as much motivation and depth as your main character. Villains don't exist to be forced to resist your main character. I think villains exist to be doing their own thing, and that inherently collides with what the main character is doing, and that butting of heads is where the good tension comes from. But villains shouldn't just be like someone that's there to like, haha, now I do my evil stuff. Villains should think that they are correct, and they are the main character of the story. I think that's how you write a good villain. Someone asked what keyboard this is. I have the exact name of it written down because I usually get this question a lot. So who asked it? Noah.mp4. I just put it in chat, YouTube and TikTok. That is my exact keyboard. If you put that into Amazon, it'll come up. Thank you for the follows, y'all. I appreciate you. Cody, you're more than welcome for that. I hope it helps. Techno Squirrel, you said I'm 75% finished with my book. Rock on, man. Good for you. What advice would you give me to push past the last edits? Head down and work on it. Don't overthink it. It's easy to overthink it, get lost in the sauce, get bogged down in edits. I think at some point, if you're losing momentum, it's just consistency and persistence that'll get you there. Edits particularly are tough. Feel free to take breaks if you need to. I'm really bad at working through edits, but it's an important thing to do. So just consistency. Dedicate a certain amount of time each day to it and work on it for that time. And then once you've hit that time limit, step away. Don't overburden yourself with it. Zach said, how long did your query process take for finding an agent? I have done querying 3 times. The first time I queried actually was the best one. I found an agent in about a month and a half and ended up working with that agent for about a year. Unfortunately, they ended up being, despite being the number 2 agent in North America at the time, they were doing some pretty unsavory things behind the scenes that finally caught up to them. And they got embroiled in a scandal that was very well deserved. The unfortunate outcome of it was me and all of his other clients got dropped overnight when he left the industry because of said scandal. So that didn't go too well for me. My other processes for querying, I didn't actually land an agent with those. They were different books later in my career. Queried probably 50, 60 agents, and had some full manuscript requests, some full reads and whatnot, but no one ended up biting. So I ended up taking the books to small press or self-pub. I'll probably query again, but I make a full-time living without an agent through self-pub and small press writing. So I will query agents again in future. But now the dynamic has changed. It is not, hey, please pick up my book and sell it. It's, I'm making a full-time living on my own. If an agent wants to work with me, I'm more than happy to work with them, but I need to hear what value are you going to bring? Because currently I'm making enough to support myself without an agent. So still open to them, but I need to see the value you're going to bring. So my equation's already working as it is. Say that again on YouTube. You said, I appreciate you and your passion for writing. And the 3 streams I've watched of yours, you're already a better teacher for me at writing than my parents ever were. Oh, thank you, my guy. I appreciate that. Means a lot. I'm just here. Look, I've been writing full time since 2018, so I'm just literally trying to share what I've learned in that time, and hopefully it can help y'all out. Learn some lessons early instead of learning them the hard way, because my writing career is a collection of lessons learned the hard way. So hopefully I can help y'all to not have to learn them the hard way. But thank you for saying so, my friend. It's been a pleasure to have you. I look forward to see you on future streams, and I look forward to helping you through your writing journey as best I can. I want to go back to the agent question as well. just because that was my experience with them doesn't mean it'll be yours. I think you should identify 40 to 50 agents that you think are good for your book, and you shouldn't stop querying until you've hit them all. It is often a numbers game, but it's a numbers game after you've filtered down to just agents you think would be a good fit for you. It's easy to get tricked into thinking, as a new author, you're happy to take any agent that comes along. Realistically, it's a two-way street. It is a partnership. You need to make sure the agent that you work with is an agent that you want to work with, not just an agent who's willing to work with you. But yeah, it's a difficult process. Kelso, if you used an editor, how did you find and decide on one? I always use an editor, Kelso. I think editors are the one thing you cannot cut out of the creative process. And for me, my editors have been picked based on the book. Essentially, Servant of Rage, Warden, Rise to Glory, those were done with small press publisher Portal Books. So when I work with them, they have an editor. In fact, one of my editors I greatly enjoy working with is with Portal Books, and so I worked with him on all these books, and the books are better for it. For The Far Wild, Audible actually purchased that book from me, so they brought in an editor as part of that process. Wriggly Little Hands was self-published, so that was the one where I really got to pick my editor. And at that point, I had been in the industry long enough. I had seen editors working and had to, experience talking with them, understanding how they work. So I was able to approach the editor I wanted for this one. And for Paragon, that is a co-written series, and I am the junior author of that relationship. So the senior author, Luke Chemlenko, great dude, great author, he had an editor he wanted to work with. So we went with that. Thank you for the reminders on the stop time, y'all. I do need to. I'm going to say 3 minutes and we're wrapping up. We'll just call it flat at 9 o'clock. I appreciate y'all helping me keep to that. I do have a lot of writing to get to today. Mama Harlan Backup says, what kind of books do you write? I write fantasy and lit RPG. All my books are linked in my bio, and they're all on Amazon, ebook, Audible for audiobooks, Kindle Unlimited, etc. They're basically, they're available however you might want them. But if you want a quick rundown, the top 3 here are fantasy, and these bottom 3 are lit RPG. And this is actually a completed trilogy. This is a 4-book series. I'm finishing the 5th book now, so this will be a completed 5-book series. Standalone, this will be a finished trilogy. Wrapping up books 2 and 3 at the end of this year. This is a standalone, and this will be a duology for the full breakdown. Argentina Bob, describe in short what your most popular book is about. My most popular book is Warden, right here. It is a sci-fi lit RPG. The basic pitch is, in the near future, a dystopian near future, virtual reality is massively popular for gaming, and the main character is falsely imprisoned by the tyrannical party that rules his dystopia, and he is offered the promise of early release if he goes and uses his services in a really popular online game to basically be like a moderator for it. And if he does that, he'll get early release. But he knows he's been falsely imprisoned. So while in that game, working essentially, he leverages his time to uncover why he was falsely imprisoned, by who, and prove his innocence. So it's a combination between like a lit RPG that focuses on leveling up, having adventures in a incredibly immersive game, with a kind of YA dystopian vibe of proving his innocence. That's my most popular one to date, but it is currently being caught up to by Wriggly Little Hands, which is my comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord and all the shenanigans they get into. Both of those books are on Amazon and Audible in any format you want. Audiobook, ebook, paperback, Kindle Unlimited, they're all there. Thank you for the question, Argentina Bob. Cody, you said they wanted you to pay to publish your book. Yes, anybody that wants you to pay to publish your book is a scam. Do not work with them. They are preying on the fact that you are excited about publishing. Don't pay to publish. That is a scam every time. All right, last few questions. We'll do a rapid fire, then I got to run. ADHD fixations. How do you create a good plot? I only have like main points / plot twist. Hey, if that's what you have, dude, roll with it. Start writing that story. A lot of my best ideas come up in the moment. Might be the same for you. Dean Winchester, welcome back. Good to see you again. You said, how do you create characters that are three-dimensional and not two-dimensional? It's a good question. I try to just really think about what their motivations are, what they want. If it helps, sit down and just do an interview with them. Ask them basic questions like, when's your birthday? What's your favorite holiday? What's your favorite activity? These things will help you round out the character and make them more real. And then when you write them on the page, they'll feel more three-dimensional because you know that backstory. You're familiar with them. Nathan, have I finished the map? I have not finished it yet. We'll be doing it again on Friday. So make sure to tune back in on Friday. We're going to keep working on the map. We finished several maps on stream, but the most recent one, we've done 3 streams for it, and we'll be doing more on Friday. Melissa, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll see you on Wednesday. ELC Wright says it was nice listening to you. Great pointers. Hope you hit your word count. Well, thank you, ELC. Thank you for being here. I'm glad my advice helped a little bit. It was a pleasure to have you. Y'all, I'm going to head out. This has been a great stream. We went for 2 hours today. I now need to pivot into my word count. I'm trying to get 4,000 words today, so we'll see. It's going to be a heavy lift, but I'm going to pivot into that and get to writing. So thank you for being here with me, folks. I appreciate you tuning in. And if you had fun, please give me a follow. We'll see you on the next one. I will be back Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time. And for that stream, what I ask is bring your favorite book. Bring the title. And then what we're going to do is you tell me your favorite book. I will pull it up on Amazon, read the opening lines, and then break them down from a writing perspective. What are they doing well? Why do they work? Et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we'll be doing on Wednesday. And I'll be excited to see you here for it. Solu HD. If you missed the stream, hey, no worries. All of my streams are recorded to YouTube, and you can go back and watch them there. So if you want to see today's stream, it has been recorded to YouTube as I was doing it. So just go to youtube.com/@author-Alex-Knight. And all of my past streams are there. There's like 75 streams there you can watch. We're getting close to that number 100 on streams. That'll be an exciting day. So please go check them out. They're all sorted into playlists. You can go back and watch basically my first stream. Technically, my first 10 streams aren't there because I didn't have the technology set up, but from stream number 11 and on, you can go check them all out. So y'all, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate having you. Links are in my bio for my books. I'm a full-time author. That's how I support myself. So if you want to support me, support the stream, please give those books a look. Otherwise, y'all, it's been a good stream today. Thank you very much for being here, for asking great questions. And let's do the play out. A special thanks, as always, to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, who provided our background music today with his songs Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade. As well, an extra special thank you to community member Rafi the engineer. Sleepy Rafi today. Rafi made our 5th background song, Midnight at the Round Table, just for this stream. He composed and produced that song just for stream. Rafi, I appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much. Of course, I also have to thank my excellent moderators. Aaron Winnick, Leisha T, a.k.a. Slendy, other name wasn't available, Simp1X, One Happy Harpy, Rafi the engineer again, and Melissa Lee 28. Thank you for keeping the vibes rolling, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here and keeping our chat moving nice and smooth. It's a good chat. We don't have a lot of moderation issues. I appreciate everybody bringing the good energy here. Thank you, y'all. Lastly, if you've enjoyed this stream, y'all, please give me a follow. I want to see you on the next one. I'll be back Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central, and we're going to have a good time. So thank you for tuning in today. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for bringing your questions. I'm excited for Wednesday. We're going to do our opening line stream. So come prepared with your favorite book or a book you're just interested in. Let me know what the title is, and we'll read it on stream, and I will break down the opening lines and give you my thoughts on them. Y'all, don't forget to join the Discord server. It is linked in my bio. I think I have it copied here. We can paste it anyway. I'll paste it in chat one last time today. And folks, I will see you on Discord, or I will see you again Wednesday for the next stream. It's been a pleasure being here with you today. Y'all, have an excellent Monday. Be excellent to each other. Peace out.